Hello, everyone. Welcome to Align with Your Dharma on this beautiful day. I welcome you all and I appreciate you for supporting me. And today I have this wonderful guest, and I love her passion. I love what she does for her family and how she takes care of her clients. So I'm going to introduce you to this beautiful woman, and her name is Lindsay McLaughlin, and she's born and raised in northern Cincinnati, Ohio, to a family of entrepreneurs. Grew up knowing she wanted to be an entrepreneur, but she went to nursing school for college at the University of Toledo. She graduated in 2008. Although spent many days in nursing school, she says, writing up business venture ideas and plans. Following her graduation, she had multiple RN job offers, but she chose to go back to Cincinnati and work as a surgical nurse at Mercy Fairfield. There, she learned a lot, and it led her to be a travel nurse for a brief time as well, and into a leadership position. She is a woman of, who wears many hats. She met her husband, John, right out of college, and they were engaged within 3 months. They were married the following year after John was honorably discharged from the Army. They had a car wash business together, and they had dove into several other side hustle businesses. So 2014, Lindsay was expecting her second child. She put in her notice at work 6 months before having the baby, that she would not be returning after maternity leave to pursue her dreams of being truly a full-time entrepreneur while getting to raise her kids and living life on her terms. Woo! Yeah, Lindsay. She immediately started in real estate investing. This venture still continues today. Through real estate investing, they have flipped several homes, brought long-term rentals. She had multiple creative financing deals, built rental properties, bought and sold notes, built a portfolio within her SDIRA. So to those people who know that term, will know, she can fill in later about that. She created notes, completed wholesale deals. This also led them to learn about residential assisted living opportunity while at a creative financing seminar in LA. They immediately thought this checked all their boxes where they could help others. John could build, Lindsay could serve while serving her nursing experience and be able to put their kids first. Yes. Now they have 3 operating 16-bedroom residential assisted livings that they, with family, built from the ground up, 8 IL units, and have brought out other RALs, which is residential assisted livings, managed one for another business, acquired and trained others on how to build residential assisted living businesses as well. Oh my God, Lindsay. Lindsay now has 4 children and 1 on the way. She has made her kids and living life to the fullest top priority while building businesses. She's now a podcaster. She has courses. She's a speaker. She's a consultant and CEO of Optimized Senior Living. You go, girl. Yes. Her and her family love adventure. If my listeners haven't understood that yet, you guys love adventure, the water, camping. They spent a year traveling full-time in their camper, exploring the country. Her keys to success are to continue learning always. I love it. Study and pursue personal growth daily. Absolutely love it. grow in self-awareness, and be convicted in faith. Beautiful. Welcome, Lindsay. Oh my God, I can't wait to talk to you. And I'm sure you're going to inspire my listeners. So now that we know, how you're, what you've been doing and the adventures you've been going through, how do you currently define success?
I define success by waking up excited for your day and loving what you are doing, feeling passionate about it.
Wow.
If you're not excited about what you're doing, then what's the point of even doing it? Maybe you're making tons of money, but if it's wearing you out, that only goes so far. So that would be to put it briefly.
So did your definition for success change over time?
I would say, yeah. I mean, am I still driven by monetary goals and certain financial freedoms? And I've got some really big goals with that by the time I turn 40. Absolutely. But again, it's keeping in alignment with who you are and having that self-awareness and growing personally. And so, yes, that is what has changed my definition of success, that it's not just all about money. It's about really living out your purpose, your passion, and being confident in yourself every day.
I totally agree with you, because your background in nursing and how you have put that together, by building the financial freedom for your family so you can help others. And it's just beautiful. So as a mom, it takes a lot of guts and courage and passion too, to take care of the family and provide financial freedom and be creative. That is a lot. You make it sound like it's piece of cake, but okay, let's break it up. You do sound like, hey, I got this. But, for a mom, you go through hormonal changes. That alone, it can take a toll on your body. And then on top of it, you're like, okay, I got the financial freedom part, I know what I want to do. And I'm sure your husband supports you as well. But it's like taking care of yourself. That's very important, right? As a mom, taking care of yourself, then you can give it to your family. So you're overflowing because you're taking care of yourself. Then you can take care of your family, your kids, and then another piece is like taking care of the business. And you guys are doing so much. So I want to ask you, how do you stay grounded and how do you stay motivated? Again, because you said you have a child on the way and you have 4 kids. So hats off to you. Let's start with how do you stay motivated so you can ground yourself and then take care of yourself so you can take care of your family and your business. So what is your secret?
How to stay grounded and motivated. Well, let's see, that's multifaceted. But I'd say the biggest thing is to just not be stressed. So recognizing, if you are getting stressed or you're feeling those feelings of anxiousness, what do you need to do to curb those feelings? And it's really all in your mind, right? So by taking care of your mind and filling that every single day with positivity, with that, like you said in the bio, with that self growth, the awareness, filling your mind every single day with that and starting your day with that. A lot of people talk about starting your day with meditation. Oftentimes just in the morning, I'll set my alarm 15 minutes early and I'll do a self-guided or a guided meditation just when I'm laying in bed still, just to get my mind in the right place before I'm really like coming to. And then I jump right on a call to be learning, and I'm focusing on mindset, and I make sure to have some kind of physical activity in the morning. So I do all that before the kids even wake up. You got to take care of yourself. And, I talk to people often where they're like, oh, I'm just so tired. Well, if you keep telling yourself you're tired, of course you're going to be tired. So it's all about those affirmations and what you're telling yourself, what you're feeding your brain externally, and then also internally, and recognizing how much power you have inside, that doesn't always have to come from external affirmations and people telling you, hey, you're doing great, or, anything like that. It's all within you. So recognizing what your goals are, what you really want your life to look like, and making that a priority every day, first thing in the morning, it just aligns your whole day. I would say. And then it makes it a whole lot easier to get rid of that stress and that anxiety if things start to creep up. You can just feed yourself better insight, better information. I talk to moms all the time that are just so stressed and they're so busy. Okay, like my big thing is to stop using the B word. I even tell my team that the B word of busy, right? When we're constantly just busy and I'm busy and I'm busy. Okay, we're all busy. You can fill your day easily with things, but are you filling your time with things that are helping you reach your goals, with things that are fulfilling, that make you happy, that you're surrounding yourself with people that feed your soul, and all that. And even if you're spending time with your kids, but you're not present with them, you're still feeling like really discombobulated. So how do you need to separate that time and recognize when you're with your kids, be with your kids. Or if you're with your kids and you got to take a phone call, that's okay. Tell your kids, hey, it's time for you to be quiet for a few minutes, or distract them into something else so you can be on the phone and doing that too. So I hope that answers your question, but it's really just not getting so bogged down into that stress and that anxiety of every day. Just take a chill pill. It'll be all right.
That helps, coming from a mom who has 4 kids and 1 kid on the way, you saying, hey, it's okay. We all have things. But when you said, are you busy? Yes, we are all busy, but are we being productive of the time that we have by, like you mentioned, meditation and waking up a little bit early, like few minutes early to do your meditation. And whatever that fuels you, if you fill yourself with that, whether it is reading a book or listening to something that motivates you to keep you going in your path. So we have to first make sure what our path is, right? Because all the time, and that too, nowadays, post-pandemic, it's like you're bombarded with stuff, with just stuff. It's easy to get distracted and like, okay, next shiny object, let's go there. You are like, you want to post something and you're like, okay, before you're like scrolling through and it's like, whoa. Okay. It is important to focus, like, okay, you're going to do that, do the meditation. And then what are you going to do? Like set timer, right? Whether it is 10 minutes of listening to the motivation speeches, or 10 minutes of filling your mind and brain with the things that will be productive for you. It might be different for everybody, but what is productive for you, right?
Exactly.
What I like, you might like something different, but it's okay. That's why we are made differently, we function differently, we think differently. That's good, right? If everybody's thinking the same way, it'll be boring.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And you choose your hard, right? And if you keep saying it's hard, obviously then it's going to be hard, but we choose our hard. So we could say first thing in the morning, oh, it's just so hard to wake up early. Well, you could also then say, well, it's hard to live life not doing what I want to be doing, or rushing around to get the kids ready because I overslept 15 minutes. You can choose your hard. So make it just easy. Yeah, it's so easy to wake up 15 minutes earlier because I feel so great after those first 15 minutes. Or it's so easy spending that 30 minutes with my kids doing X, Y, or Z, because it's just fun and they're so much better afterwards and they're fulfilled, filling their cup. And so, you choose. And that's where I feel so often that others are just giving that power, they're giving their day to all these external circumstances, and you really can own that. And owning that just propels you forward. And if you are clear on what that forward path looks like, then it just keeps on rolling. It's where I talk a lot about just doing a life script or writing your goals down. And so few people really do all that, and not your short-term goals, but your long-term goals and that life script. Are you familiar with the life script, or you talk much about that?
Go ahead.
I love the life script idea, and to write down what you want your life to look like, what you want it to feel like. How do you want your days to be? You could write your goals down, and those are great, but that life script really dives in. Like, how do you want to wake up feeling? How do you want to go to bed feeling? How do you want to be feeling throughout the day? How do you want your day truly spent? Do you, is driving in a Beamer with all that, like, is that going to feel good to you? Then write that down. That's one of the things that you want to be doing.
From a non-judgmental space, right?
Yes. Yep. Exactly. And yes, very, very important to do what you really want to be doing, and not what society is telling you that your life should look like. And, well, I want to be retiring by the time I'm 65 and but no, be real with yourself. Do you want to be spending your days on a boat? Awesome. Spend your days on a boat. If you truly want to be spending your days on a boat and you need to make an income, how do you want to be making that income? Like, there's so many options out there. There's so much abundance. And to put yourself into this box that everybody else thinks you should be in is really just limiting yourself. So just take those limitations away and start write how you want to feel and live your life. And if you keep reading that and you stay true to that, you will be amazing. It'll be amazing to see how your life truly unfolds, where you're more in control as opposed to what everybody else puts on you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so do you have mentors, or do you have multiple mentors, and who inspires you? Like, who do you follow?
Kind of depends on the day. During the week, I mean, I do my mindset stuff in the morning, and I have a mindset coach and all that. But then I'm always listening to other things like Abraham Hicks. I love to listen to her every day, but I also have to take her in chunks. If I listen to too much, it's like too much for me. So I love listening to her for maybe like 15 minutes while I'm driving, like driving one kid to school or something. I listen to Abraham Hicks. I definitely try to fill my brain with other people like that, with the Joseph Murphy and Alan Watts, and there's just really amazing people of our time from the past. And I really enjoy listening to others too, talk about more of just like the awakening of humanity. So like the Jason Shirkas and all that. But then I also get really focused on my business and propelling business forward. So there's all kinds of things I listen to there, but getting focused into the investment part and business growth and keeping your mind right in that space. So kind of, like I said, it's multifaceted, right? If you're only focused on business, you might miss the whole self-awareness part. And if you're only focused on that, maybe you come out of alignment with those other goals. So feeding your brain from different spaces, if that makes sense.
Important. Yeah. What do you feed your brain for creativity? You are pretty creative.
Honestly, probably just talking to others. I so enjoy networking, and I really just get energy from being around other people. So when I am around others and listening to what they're doing, and always trying to figure out, like, how can we network? How can we make this a win-win situation? And just having your mind going when you're thinking about that, especially in this this new assisted living business that we're doing, where we're consulting with others and we're building this huge platform. It's constantly like, okay, you're in this business and you're doing that. How can we work together to make something else work? And it's fun. Like, I find that very invigorating and fun, and I love it.
Sometimes, the words the others speak when you're networking, it might spark give you an idea. I'm like, I didn't even look at it from that perspective, because we might be thinking in one way, and then it depends on who you surround yourself with. That is important too. It plays a huge role. But, who we network with and who we talk to, and, some words might spark,
Absolutely.
and that's what I see. You're very creative.
Oh, thanks.
Otherwise,
Thank you.
it's challenging to juggle, family life with the entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it can be, right? But it also gives you so much flexibility as well. And that's a different shift as well. If you've always worked a regular job and then you go into entrepreneurship, you recognize that, okay, my hours might not be that 9 to 5. If I'm going to be spending time with my kids, maybe I'm kind of pulling a second shift, or I need to sit on the computer from bedtime until 11 o'clock at night to have that productive time, or it's earlier in the morning, or, whatever fits with you and how you can operate. But it's shifting your time and recognizing that it's not going to be so cut and dry as maybe that 9 to 5.
Do you have certain words that you live by?
It's a good question. Or
you can tell me a quote that you like to.
Certain words. So I do have like a word of the year. This year, my word was confidence.
Whoa.
And, focusing on that confidence within myself, which it's been really fun to see how things have transpired just even this year. Last year, my word was discipline.
What is it?
Last year, my word was discipline. Having that self-discipline. So I have a word of the year, and then I also do a word of the year with my business, with my team, and what we focus on. So this year, that word is integrity. So, if I'm focusing a lot on confidence and integrity, just those words, if I'm making decisions just on those 2 words, that aligns me with my goals, that aligns me with what I'm aspiring for, and all that, and feeling really good and able to sleep at night. If you don't have that integrity, it makes it hard to sleep at night.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Definitely. I'm glad you said that. When I was attending one of the leadership classes, my words were love, abundance, integrity.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I like when you said word of the year. And would you, when say this year, you said it is confidence, which is great. But then, would you take the word of the year from past year and then incorporate it as well? Like you build upon it?
I don't personally, but like my word of the year, confidence. So I have a self-confidence article that I read pretty regularly, and I would say 4 or 5 times a week. So just by reading that, it's just kind of what I'm reciting to myself. It's those affirmations within it that then just become part of who I am. So
yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you already said you get up in the morning, you do your meditation first, and then, you focus on your mindset. And then, and since you're an entrepreneur, let's talk about, your Mompreneur Life.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, so the Mompreneur Life, I have a course that'll be releasing, and a podcast that's going to be re-releasing. I've been recording to relaunch that. I had done a few last year, but like I said, I'm gearing up for my bigger relaunch. And the Mompreneur Life is coaching and consulting with other moms who are ready to step out of what they've always been doing, what they feel like they've been told to do, and live life on their terms and find that inner passion, that purpose, find that inner power, and really just step out to do their thing. And I know, because working in surgery, it was a very interesting environment, and they would constantly try to pull you back in. And even after I quit, there were several times, when finances were kind of hard, and it's like, oh, I could just go back. They actually called me this week. I could go back and just do PRN. And well, that's that safe zone, that's that comfortable zone. And if we're not feeling a little bit uncomfortable all the time, then we're not growing. So you got to plow through that discomfort, and you're going to find a new discomfort, and it's going to be awesome. You're going to get so good at being uncomfortable, but you're going to keep on growing. So the Mompreneur Life is really all about that, and getting coached. I'm coaching through that for other women so that they feel really confident and excited about doing what they want to be doing and living life like that for themselves, and really recognizing their goals. And women are so creative, and so are men, right? But there's so much creativity there, and that they're thinking of like, oh, this business would be really cool, or I would love to do this or that, but I've got the kids, or but this job is so good, but I've got health insurance. All right, you know what? A lot of those are excuses. Let's make those into reasons, or what are your goals? And then we can build everything else around that. There's always a way. So putting aside the excuses to really do what you want to be doing.
Wow, that's beautiful, because that is true, though. We underestimate the power that we have within ourselves, and we go into that space where like, okay, I'm doing this routine and I'm comfortable, but after some time, you will get too comfortable, and you won't step outside of that because you're very comfortable and you're used to the routine, but then there is no growth happening either. You have plateaued, right? So by women getting too comfortable, I feel like they put the ceiling on themselves because they are like comfortable. And I'm like, unless you break that ceiling, but it has to come from each and every individual, right? Like, okay, I'm going to break that ceiling. I'm getting too comfortable in this spot. Let's get out of this. And yes, it is intimidating. And I'm so glad you said that, because we haven't done that before. Yes, it's very uncomfortable, right? And it's scary, but it's like, okay, you put your toes in, and then you're like, okay, it was not that bad. Okay, let's put all the toes in. And then you put, half the foot in, and then you're like, once you put it in, I'm like, huh. And sometimes the universe just doesn't give you an opportunity to put your toes in, half the foot in. You have to put all your foot in, and just, and believe in yourself.
The adrenaline rush happens. Then the adrenaline rush happens. You're like, oh man, I know my face was so red and my heart was pounding, and I didn't even say at all what I wanted to say, but oh, that felt so terrible, but so good at the same time, right? Kind of like riding a roller coaster, or a crazy ride at the amusement park. You're scared to death going into it. Your heart starts pounding, and then once you ride it, you're like, oh, that was so great.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I noticed when you just follow your heart, because your intuition will not let you down. Your intuition will stop you like, hey, I don't think this is a good idea. When your heart says, okay, I really want to do it, and your intuition says, you got this, just pursue it. Yes, there's butterflies in the stomach, but you know what? Butterfly is better because, you're not overconfident. You see what I'm saying? And
you actually feel feelings. Have you ever had that experience, or recently? Okay, this is a small example, but I was in a networking group. So I was a BNI for 4 years doing the same thing. And I became just really comfortable talking about what I was talking about. And I didn't feel any feelings anymore about it. It was just, it's what I did, kind of going through the motions. So I changed my seat over to the Mompreneur Life. So it was the first time I started talking openly about it in front of others. And the first time I did a talk about it, I felt all the feelings, like you have those butterflies and your face gets red and you start sweating. And afterwards, like I actually wrote an email to the group. I'm like, thank you so much for allowing me to be so uncomfortable around you, because it felt so invigorating. Like I felt feelings. Sometimes we just start going through the motions. And if you step back, you're like, when was the last time I really felt something? Like to really just cry, even like happy tears, or just get the goosebumps, because you're really just feeling. And I think sometimes if we just get caught in that rat race and you're just going, you forget to feel. And I know it sounds weird, but once you feel it, you're like, oh, I I had feelings, real
Yeah.
bodily feelings.
Yes, yes, exactly. Because sometimes and I also want to bring it to bring attention to sometimes when you feel certain things, it's important to be in that moment and just feel whatever emotions come. Because sometimes it's scary and you're like, okay, it is scary, and you want to put that down and do the next thing. But I feel it's really important, whatever emotions that are coming up, however you're feeling, enjoy that. And if it's a happy feeling, enjoy. And if it is not so happy, still be in that place and feel it instead of suppressing it. That gives you so much power. It's like, okay, I've processed it. I know how it feels to be in that space, no matter what that space is. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought that. And in your opinion, how important it is to surround yourself with people who, there are different sets of people, right? People who believe in you, even when you feel like, I don't know if I can do this, and then I can come and say, Lindsay, you have done A, B, C, and D. You got this, girl. You know what I'm saying? So you need people like that, and then there are people. You also need people who are like nudge you. I want you, okay, you got this done, but I see your potential to do this. Sometimes you are not able to see that, but I feel like you need that. And then those people as well. And do you think it's important to surround yourself with people who give you honest feedback rather than like, oh my God, Lindsay, you're that, you're amazing, like just sugarcoating everything, or just give you like, hey, I understand, but look at it from this perspective. Do you think that is important?
Oh yeah, who you surround yourself with is so important. And what do they say? The 5 people you spend the most time with, you're an average of those 5. So recognizing what your goals are and who you're aspiring to be, who you are, and helping you propel forward too. Yes, those 5 people are super important. But beyond that, like you said, getting that honest feedback too. Like one of my best friends, are we on the same wavelength when it comes to goals and a lot of things? No. However, I love her so much, and when I talk to her about things, she also is like a grounding for me. Or she's a really good contrast. Like she'll just call things out, and it makes me just think differently. Like, oh yeah, um, um, hold on one second. Can you pause it for 1 second?
Sure.
Okay. My friend and okay, so it's really great to have that grounding person who just brings things back into your awareness that maybe you forgot, or then you can just process it differently. So I love that too. And I think contrast is really important. You hang out with a group of people that that they aren't necessarily the ones that are pushing you to better yourself per se, but again, having that self-awareness, you're like, these are really great people, and maybe I can be an inspiration to them in some way, and maybe I can lift them up in some way, and just recognizing that and not putting down like, oh, I can never see those people. I don't want to be around those people, because then you're just attracting more of what you don't want to be around. So enjoying that time with them, enjoying that, hey, they're in my life for a reason right now, and I'm going to make the best out of this situation, and they're wonderful people. So what do I have to learn from them? Because I did get caught in that for a while, where it was like, I don't want to be around this person. I don't want to be around that, because I just feel blah, blah, blah. Well, then I'm just bringing more of that in. So just enjoy them. They're wonderful people. And then you find ways to lift each other up in maybe a different aspect than your coach or your mastermind, that kind of thing. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Yeah. No, that is important. Instead of like, condemning, it's like, what do they bring to the plate that I can learn from. Maybe there is a characteristic that those individuals have that I haven't looked at from that perspective. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, instead of like, oh my goodness, I can't deal with this, so sometimes it's important to look at, not sometimes, I think it's always important to look at things from a different perspective. Otherwise, you have a blind spot. We all do.
Yeah.
Somebody has to say like, okay, Aruna, you have done this, but did you look at it from this perspective? I understand what you're saying. Somebody has to look at what you're saying and listen, carefully, but at the same time, look at it from a different perspective too.
Yeah.
And
perspective is
can do that.
everything. Isn't perspective everything? And if you're feeling so negative about something, or you're telling yourself just a lot of bad things about something, that's a great time to step back and be like, okay, maybe I can shift my perspective on this. How could I shift my perspective to find the good?
Yeah. That's okay. Hi. You can sit with mommy. That's totally okay.
And, I was even listening to something last night, and they were talking about perspective, and it was about a lot of world stuff right now, and how easily we could just say, oh, I dislike this person leading our country, or I hate this, or I hate that. And again, like, what is that doing? So by having a different perspective on it and actually thinking them like, wow, by having X, Y, and Z happen, I'm actually really grateful because it brought more into my awareness, and now I can grow from that, and I'm more awake because of it. So
yeah, definitely. The awareness is important. And then, once the awareness is there, then you acknowledge, okay, I do see, why this person came into the picture and why this person said this. That is a second step. I feel like, TJ's office, he has this awareness, acknowledge, and this third one is accepting. That is huge, I feel like, because, we can be aware of it and we can acknowledge it. But then once we choose not to accept, there is no movement from there on. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, do I want to accept what this person is offering? Once you accept, then you act upon it, and then you change your routine. And it's like, okay, I understand what Lindsay is saying. And, I'm aware of it, what she's saying. And then I'm acknowledging what Lindsay is saying. And then I'm like, okay, do I want to accept? Then I'm like, okay, if I accept, then I have to act upon what she has offered me, the suggestion. Then I can choose to change my way, like, okay, now I can adapt, or, take that input and then act upon it, basically, So, yeah, I mean, we have to give ourselves permission. Like, so for example, if you are giving me a suggestion, like, okay, Aruna, have you looked at it this way? And I've gone through the awareness part, acknowledging part, accepting part, acting part. I don't have to follow exactly what you're giving me the suggestion for, but I can take bits and pieces and say, okay, now I can apply this part into my life, So, well, I appreciate you shedding light on that. One last question. So what is the best business advice that you have received?
Best business advice that I have received. That is really a great question. Growing up, my dad used to always say, work smarter, not harder. And, work with your mind. Work with your mind, not with your back. Now, did he always lead by example with that? No, but that always sticks in my head. And when I hear other people talking and other people training on things, I think about that often. Work smarter, not harder. And so it's really about creating systems to be efficient and thinking through things instead of just always plowing through and making it challenging. So really working smarter, not harder. That has played a huge role in my life. And I see it a whole lot more now than probably ever before in just how to navigate. Delegate.
Yes, because it's important, right? Like, you're a mom and you're managing, so many businesses and you're contributing to your family, 100%, and you're contributing to your business 100%. And you cannot do that unless you delegate other stuff to people around you, right? So it's important to work smarter than work harder. I totally get it. And you're juggling it really well with your little one. Yeah, I totally get it. Okay.
This is the mompreneur life, right? You're the kids running
that
around
is exactly the mompreneur life. You are being a great example. Yes.
It's being real. I think we've all
Yes,
learned that
exactly.
the past couple of years.
Exactly. You're not being fake. Hey, this is how it is. This is how I juggle. Yeah.
But I also hope that they learn a lot from me too by doing this and seeing me active in business. And it's not, well, mommy just goes to work and I never see what she does. They're very much a part of it all the time, and with meetings and everything else. So I hope they're learning a lot about leadership and entrepreneurship and mindset and all that too.
Yes, entrepreneurship, leadership, mindset, you covered them all. And
yes.
So people who want to reach out to you for your mompreneur life, you want them to reach out to you on IG, Instagram. Her handle is theMompreneurlife101. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes,
theMompreneurlife101. So you can reach out to Lindsay on Instagram. And if you want to reach out to her via phone, it is 513-252-3405. And I will add that to the notes on the podcast so people can reach out to you. And then people can email you as well.
Okay. Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So that is theMompreneurlife101@gmail. So perfect. I appreciate your time, on this beautiful day, and you are juggling it really well, balancing work, life. Woo, Lindsay. Yes, you are an inspiration. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been fun.
You are very welcome. You're very welcome. Thanks to all the listeners. And I will put the notes on the podcast as well, so you can reach out to her. Keep inspiring people, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Sounds great. Thanks, Sabrina. Have an awesome day.
You too.